we're starting 2 hours behind the cars, but I think it's still going to be a problem for the motorcycles. And today I've had a good time trial. I feel I had a nice ride, no problems, everything went smoothly, and I think the big thing is to try and start first in the motorcycles tomorrow.
No, the season's still early, so I'm just going to have to go for a good consistent ride tomorrow and score good points. You know, if we're together, well, then we'll see what the outcome is at the end, but hopefully I'll just have a good ride tomorrow.
Well, I'm quite glad I got a 6-point lead for tomorrow. I don't feel too strong. I had a big tumble last weekend at Kyalami, and I'm hoping just to get it finished tomorrow and gain my point lead.
Rion is virtually unbeatable in the 200cc motorcycle class. And after the time trials, all the vehicles are impounded overnight for the start at 6:30 on Saturday morning, and it's a nice big crowd up early for the start, with the fastest cars getting away first. And a nice mild morning with no wind to move the dust, which is bad news for the competitors. Fastest the cars in Class A with no restrictions on modifications. Whoa, hard to get away. There's hardly any grip at the start. Are the boys from Botswana in the Chinau, Shamir, Variana and Carl.
It's going to be a bit wet in the morning, but there's a hungry pack of wolves behind us, so there's no way to run but flat out. We're going to run as fast as we can for as long as we can without tearing the car apart.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll do all right.
There's 400 k's of rough, tough going ahead of them. And here's the big competition. The Chippiks, father and son, both called France.
Today's race, we're starting second, 3 seconds behind. 3 seconds is really nothing. It's going to be a long day today. It's going to be very wet and slippery at the beginning. Shamir's car is very quick, much way quicker than ours. We've maybe got a little bit more experience than them. There's going to be a bit of wrong slotting here and there, so the lead will change in the first couple of kilometers a little bit here and there. And I think some of the guys from further back are also going to be joining in that. But I think this morning is to keep a steady pace, keep it going, because it's a long day, and I think everybody's going to be in a hell of a hurry. They're going to break their cars, and we're hopefully going to take it nice and easy, and we're going to be there at the end.
A very hot Beetle is next, or looks like one. Jackie Jabir and Jack Cross in the Jojo tank car with a turbocharged Volvo motor. Next up, the brothers Gurney, Greg and Brett in their 2-seater Sandmaster, sounding very crisp. Here's an action man in single-seater, the Jack's Paint and Hardware race car, and the pilot Bevan Berthold has raced Group N saloon cars, off-road bikes, and has had 7 years in karts, and also Car Magazine's Rookie of the Year. Greg Harvey with his long-time navigator, Boystone, the Castrol Jimco Sandmaster. They won the Special Vehicle Championship last year. Sounds like they've got a bit of automatic gearbox trouble there. Our most successful off-road team is the RP Ranico with an injured Robin Houghton.
I managed to on Thursday somehow tear my cornea, so it's going to be a bit of a problem, obviously having one eye only, but we ran yesterday in the time trial with it. Just takes a bit of getting used to, and not the best looking thing, but keep the dust out and it should go well.
Ons het elke jaar nog baie goed gedoen, elke jaar, ek dink vir die laaste 4 jaar hier so gewen. So ons is vol vertroue vir hierdie dag. Ons is vertroud met die terrein hierso en ons voertuig is in topkondisie, so ons is baie vol vertroue vir vandag.
8th fastest overall in the time trials, and on home territory is the Mitsubishi Pajero. Maritzburg's Dakar star Neil Woolridge with Paul Vermaak making sure he goes in the right direction, getting past the stricken Castrol Jimco Greg Harvey with that automatic gearbox trouble.
Well, yeah, we're under a lot of pressure, not only the normal pressures of racing, but obviously under the pressures of our main sponsor, being Mitsubishi, sponsoring the event. So, yeah, all the big wigs from Samco here, and we've got to perform. So it's a bit of unnecessary pressure. I could have done without it, to be quite honest, but I think it's going to be a nice event. We've got a beautiful day. It's going to be hot. I think it's going to be a hard, long, demanding race. I would say about 6-7 hours of the winning time. Very tight, very dusty. That's going to be a hard race.
It's sometimes an advantage with the wind coming through, like in a Sandmaster, and blowing the dust away, is where it gets into the cab. It sort of swirls around inside the cab. But I'm sure as the day goes along, the dust will get better, so I don't think it'll be too much of a problem.
They lead in the production car class in their Repro Gel Pajero after winning the Barbers 500. Must start favourites for another victory here. And Greg Harvey and Boystone get underway, but it doesn't sound too healthy. Right, now into the sugarcane fields, and the leaders, Shamir, Viriava and Khan, are absolutely flying. They haven't got the dust to worry about, but certainly the early morning sun is starting to cause problems. Left-hand drive vehicle, that one. This is only their second year in off-road racing, and they're doing particularly well, leading this race. Here's the competition. The Chippings, they started 3 seconds behind them. Already the dust is getting to them as they sit in their cozy little cockpit. That's an identification light at the back so you can see these cars in the dust. Japan Cross and the Volvo Beetle are absolutely hauling, and the Gurneys have turned up the wick in the B class in that 2-seater Sandmaster. And look at the speed of that cattle farmer from Freiburg, R.P. Reinicke and Robin Houghton in that Castrol Toyota. Out of the mist, Bevan Birtle from Northcliffe, he tests his race car around the neighbourhood. He's on a mission too. The dust and sun are getting worse now. How they drive in those conditions. Birtle, of course, is using at the moment a Porsche motor he's borrowed from the Chippings. Here's D4 leading the production vehicle class. The Mitsubishi Pajero looks very good and in control. And this is the actual vehicle that got Woolridge to third in his class in the Dakar. Brilliant performance. Woolridge, of course, from a motorsport family. 50 years in motorsport in that family. And some kind farmer has his water tank out to try and keep the dust from covering his sugarcane. The leader, Shamir Variawa and Liat Khan, they're making a name for themselves in off-road racing this year. Fourth in the Lichtenberg 400, the first event. Second in the Barberspan 500. And of course the dust is not worrying them as they're still in the lead. They get to the first control. It's a regular check that the organisers have to see that competitors don't take shortcuts but stay on the course. And listen to that big Porsche 6-cylinder engine at work there. The Chippings lost a bit of ground through the dust and sun, but now the sun is up, they can start putting on the pressure as they also hurry into that same checkpoint. Only a few seconds behind now, and they really on a charge. They can see victory in sight for themselves, even at this early stage. Reinicke and Houghton, the mighty Yokohama shot, Castrol Toyota, the Land Cruiser, still joint leaders in the championship with the Campers, in who they drive yet another Toyota Hilux in the Super Truck class. They've got to stop here before they cross the South Coast Road. Got a big power in that straight 6 4.5 litre Land Cruiser motor. Fuel injection. Sounds crisp. Had a few problems in the early race. And Nardis, Alberts and Peter Matee in the race car. They're putting out good performance. They have a little that equipment in those wheels that these two-seaters have to carry. They started in 14th place, a minute and a half behind the leaders, and they're moving up through the field. The sun is up, and now the Chippings can start to push. It's rough. It's easy to make a mistake here. We have a wonderful country for off-road racing, and the navigators have to work very hard. This is the American Raceco chassis. It's been modified by the Chippings, and it's got a 2.7 litre flat-four Porsche engine, which is hardened with a lot of power there. And they've made modification. You can see the long travel suspension. Little wing on the roof there. That's the door actually to the cockpit, and they've put a wing on the roof just to get more pressure down the back. And the leaders still flying along in first place, so first on the road, and of course there's no dust for them, but they've got to be very careful. They know the pressure's coming up behind. They've heard from their pit crew that the Chippings are on the move. And Woolridge in the blue confrontation of speed. This is where you can do a lot of damage. You go off this road, and it's very hard, that rough road on wheels and tires. Those roots go into the road and then get into sidewalls and damage rims, and here the navigator has really got to earn his keep. And it looks so comfortable. They've actually made it less comfortable than before. They've taken the air conditioning out and also electric windows just to save a little bit of weight. But it's a very, very capable vehicle indeed. And this is the sort of country that abounds around this area. There's blue gums. That's where you can easily make a mistake and go off to the right if your navigator is not on the board. You can see all those roots and those branches that grow along the road or lie along the road there. And still flying along. First place on the road. Still, but the Chippings, they know, are catching. Porsche engine. I mean, it's got to be very well filtered, but it's got unending reliability, great power there. And Manfred Schroeder in his Pennzoil Orca, he's second in Class B for engines up to just over 2 litres. Johan and Frieda van Jarsel in their JRE special, they built themselves a going flat in the dust. And hello, new leader, first major control, the Eston service station, and the Chippings are in front. Clear roads ahead for them, although there's no tracks to follow for the navigators. Big advantage, of course, is no dust. As and have a look, the Chippings is wrong slotted. Navigation area, they hit that big rock in the middle of it. Look at the ground clearance they got. And the boys from Botswana, Variava and Khan, are back in the front. And the dust is going to be a problem once again for the Chippings as they're going to that deep forest. Here we're McGladrey's crossing now. Here's Woolridge at home. He knows this area so well. That vehicle has been proved across the Sahara, and of course this is a bit of a doddle for them here. R.P. Reinicke, the Yokohama shot Castrol Toyota, battling in the thick sand. Sounds like they've got a broken exhaust there. They've won the roof. They've won the off-road championship many times, and just about every national off-road race going. A very successful team in that Castrol Toyota. Tom Smith from Kempton Park, specialised in Porsche, used to navigate for his father. He's now got a single-seater with a 1600cc Beetle engine, one Class B at Lichtenberg and the Barberspan. And Newton Love and Colin Pope, the Quickfoot Raceco, third in the class at the moment. Newton used to motocross and ride endurance in the 80s. He's second in Lichtenberg and fourth in the Barberspan. Hein Krobler and Charles Volmans in yet another one of those Castrol Toyotas. There's so many of them in this event, they really do concentrate. Also with the Yokohama tyres, they come from Clarksdorp. They're leading the production vehicles at the moment. This is in the class for vehicles up to 3 litre, with some of the other favourites in trouble. Just have a look at the back of the bucket. It's not real bucket at all, it's all fiberglass work as they set off into the forest. And we're getting close to the end of the first lap, and here it is. End of lap 1, 190 k's under the belt at the Beaumont Eston Farmers Club. The leaders, the Chippicks. Look how they get out to the roof. We're going to refuel the car and also the driver. And here's Ralph Pitchett from the KTM team. This is the whole spirit of off-road racing. He's giving a hand to get the Chippicks back on the road. And not far behind in second place, the boys from Botswana, looking for their pit as they come. There's going to be a lot of willing hands helping them also get out to the roof. Here they get out now. It's going to be a quick change. They know they've got the Chippicks ahead and they've got to make up time. Johan and Frieda van Jaarsdorp from Piet Retief, one of the few husband and wife teams. And how did Frieda find this event so far?
Dis lekker, maar is roop. Wat kan ik nog zeggen? Het is nog dat van. Hoe heb je het gaan
And how's this for a professional crew? The Castrol Toyota team get into action like a Grand Prix Formula 1 pit stop there. As Tom Smith arrives, he's leading his class for single-seaters. He hasn't been headed this year. Getting ready to go, that mighty 4.5 litre Land Cruiser. A lot of low down there. And after the cars are a long way down the track, the quads get going at last. Vickers van Deventer on the Castrol Jojo Tanks Yamaha Banshee leads by 43 seconds after time trial. There's 66 of these vehicles about to start. Jan Steenkamp on the Yamaha Grizzly 600 with backing from FMF, and Sally Yamaha gets going as well. It's a long 400 k's to go for them. They've got to watch those middle monkeys. They're not designed for quads with that narrow track. And here's an ATV for farm use. Racing against some very hot built-to-race machines like this one, Brendan Badenhorst, one of the favourites on a Joburg Yamaha Banshee 350 Racing 12. It's flying. How they keep us up for 400k. John Craig Costello in the Joburg Yamaha is the teammate with O'Neill Racing. He won at Lichtenberg. He's 7 points ahead of Vickers in the championship at the moment. Here's Bikunang, Jojo Tank Castrol Yamaha of legend Vickers van Deventer. How he's going to keep it up, and these others know they've got to fly along. John Craig Castelli's dropping in the main road, just wants to get on. He knows that Vickers is on a charge. Behind him, takes it carefully across the South Coast Road. And the next one along is Van Deventer. Master says, get your lights on. He's in the charge. You can hear just revving. Got the lights on. Here he goes, the power's at the top. It's a 350 Racing Twin, and it puts out an enormous amount of horsepower. He's really anxious to get. He rode the entire Dakar Sonda Sokkies. Brendan Badenhorst, we've got a race in our hands here. He's in a hurry too, catching up fast. And this is going to be a real battle amongst these quads. Here's a young lady, Leanne Miller, flying along, 27th fastest after time trials. They're going to mark a helmet. There you can see it at the control, and she gets underway as well, doing very well. And these guys keep up this sort of riding. How they do it for 400 k's, they've got to be super fit. Their heads are down, they're crouching, they're going flat out. Some of the fastest vehicles through sugarcane fields ever. Absolutely going. This machine can get out of control, and it's time now for the motorcycles to start 2 hours after the cars. First away, of course, is Alfie Cox. He's also the 99 Motorsportsman of the Year, just decided a week ago. And he's on the Natro Freight KTM. It's a 380. Does his motocross there, just uses the outside of that corner as a berm, and on goes Alfie. Gets his weight at the back of the saddle to get power to the corner, then starts to stand. As the first 250 comes along, it's Jade Goodsight on the Connex Internet Honda. He's been followed by Lance Tuthui. You can hear the sound of that big 4-stroke Yamaha, and he's in the dust behind him. Alfie looking very relaxed, super strong. He's looking good. He makes it look so easy, and he's very much in control on his home ground. Here's the competition. Errol Dalton, he started third on the Autopage Cellular Honda. He's tying for second place in the championship with his teammate Graham McLaughlin. Big power from that 500cc Honda. Water-cooled, single-cylinder, 5-speed gearbox, and he just powers it into the forest. Out of the dust, here comes Lance Tuthui on the 4-stroke Yamaha. Sounds like a 2-stroke as it comes towards you. Just some of the other 2-strokes going away. Here he is, coming to the control point before he crosses the road. There you can hear that big banger going now. 500cc of big Yamaha. Lots of low down. Alfie rides a 4-stroke on the KTM in the Dakar race. And Daryl Curtis sideways on the AGA Panasonic Castrol KTM. And here's another one. Barry Creel leading the 200s, only 13 seconds behind Rian van Niekerk at the start. And Rian van Niekerk has actually retired from this race. This accident he had has made him too sore to continue. And here's Alfie at his best. 18 days in the Dakar across the Sahara Desert. This race here is just a doddle for him. He's used to 1,000 Ks a day. He looks so relaxed. He makes it look easy. But if you come short on that one, you're going to do a lot of damage to yourself. Good start once again. Going very well in that 250, like a motocross. He gets on the wheelies. And look at the back wheel. Just follows the track of that ground. He locks the back wheel as he begins there. Cool 200 gone. Off he switches off his fuel tank as he comes into the pits. He's looking for his pit. The motorcycles, of course, can also be refueled every 70 kilometers. Pits are getting busy. Here's good sight. He's hurrying into the pits. They're doing a bit of work on the back wheel there, possibly changing some of the gearing and getting him back into action. It's going so well. Truthui servicing the big 4-stroke Yamaha and also getting some refreshment himself. And Daryl Curtis on the KTM is catching good sight in that 250 class. The AGA Panasonic team is doing so well there with Castrol. Barry Creel is also in that teal. He's leading the 5. And there he is, the 200s. He comes in for a quick stop, and it's happening fast and furious there. Jeff Wallater on the KTM, a very, very competent local competitor. And Wayne Farmer on the Russell Campbell Racing Kawasaki's in a hurry to get away, nearly running over some of his pit men. Right, we're coming up to midday. The cars are well down range now. The Chippick's well in front now in that Epson V Motors Porsche. The Raceco. They're almost afford to take their time now as they get back into the sugar cane. And Woolridge with Paul Vermaat leading the production class by miles. As we say, he comes from a family. This is his local area, so he knows these roads very well. And he's been racing in America, in the Baja, and also in Wales, and he's done the Dakar. And Schroeder is doing very well as he gets back into the cane fields. And Nardis Albert and Peter Matee from Centurion didn't stop at the pits for fuel, and they are, in fact, the fastest vehicles on the course at the moment. There's a Van Jaarveld. They know they're better now. They've been around a loop, and they go on the second loop in the identical route. RP and Houghton. Castrol Toyota having a trouble-free run today despite a bent rim, and this event is very, very tough indeed. Tom Smith in front of the Class B class. We say he hasn't been beaten by anybody. He won at Lichtenberg, won the Barbers Crane. At the mid-morning taxi passes by number E20. Problem Walrmans get going in the Toyota Hilux. They're leading their standard production vehicle class. And now the dust has settled, it's not too bad for them to navigate. This field is spread out and they can go a lot faster. The Campers here in Vic in Old Fridge, a famous Toyota Hilux. The Quadrishaw one there. It's won a lot of off-road races. And a standard Pajero, Henry Zamatin. The only modification of got is the Koning shock absorbers, navigators, Alan Lafrangi. They're enjoying themselves, and these Pajeros are doing well, and more of them are coming into off-road racing. Jean Jabert, Errol Hodgson, they're lying 9th at the moment, production vehicle. This is the ex-Birkin, the Works Toyota Hilux, and it's the only diesel-engined vehicle in the Sugarbelt 400. The Quins, Nolan Harvey, McCarthy's Pajero from Natal, and also doing well, enjoying themselves too. Very well sorted out vehicles. Bog standard. And the sound of a high-revving 2.8-litre BMW straight six comes by with Tony Yeo and his wife Mandy in that Sabat Land Rover. The Rapso Raceco of the Albert and Matee are still flying along. They've had a trouble-free run and they're moving up through the field. Waiting across the road, lots of low-down power there. That vehicle's done so well. Have a look at the number of shocks they've got in the back wheel. 3 shock absorbers. No, it's 4 shock absorbers on each side. Pajero once again of Zamatin and Lafrangi, and you can see why these Mitsubishis do so well with that proven chassis and motor. This team of course comes from Botswana. Unfamiliar country for them. Blue gum, sugarcane fields, lots of dust that they're used to of course. As Nick Harper and Andrew Chalupsky in the ex-Richard Chilling South African Championship winning car come into view. It's a Raceco, they're going for 5th place overall. Very well prepared, lots of suspension. This car actually rolled in the Barbers Fan 500 quarter light just a month ago, and they've rebuilt it, and here they're going like a rocket. In their first off-road event are Cliff Veikalt and Jan Smallberg in that N1 4x4 Toyota. It's all going well. In the meantime, Alfie's holding the lead ahead of Goodsight. There's Curtis, Rob Campbell there. He's just got a 1-minute lead, but so easy, you lose concentration. There it is, and you're off the road, and they'll catch up that minute very, very quick indeed. Flat out. No vehicle has gone through the sugarcane fields faster than those high-speed motorcycles. Jeremy Davies on the Autopate Solia Honda, he's passing Fissa and Vesta in the Hilux. And the leading quad is coming up as well. That's Brendan Bardenhoff. He's got a hurry on his hands there. He's got a 17-minute lead, and he's coming through as well. First and best a move over, very sporting for him to get on with the job. Got to be very fit to ride these ones. Stands a little bit, sits a bit, looks almost awkward there and dangerous as he goes along, absolutely flat out the front of the class. And John Craig Costello on the Johannesburg Yamaha, he won the Lichtenberg 400. He came second in the Barber Span. In fact, he'd injured himself. He wasn't going to ride this event, and he doesn't appear on the program. But here he is giving a great performance. He's well ahead there of the other members of the field. And this is one very talented rider that's come to light this year. In the meantime, Alfie Cox comes in for his last fuel stop.
The bigger one. Where's the bigger one?
It's okay, Alf.
The bigger one,
We can't, there isn't another one, man.
Where's my one, Richard?
Stuck on it.
Not very happy with those arrangements there. Fuel for the leading Johannesburg Yamaha. It's Bardenhoff, a youngster. And good sight on the 250 Honda. Look at all those fuel cans sitting at the side of the road. All different markings there for the different competitors.
Long way.
Long way.
Getting a lowdown on where he stands in the field as Alfie gets near to the last marshalling point on this event. He's done 370 Ks already. Crosses the road and Alfie's on his way to yet another win. Good sight, looking very good. He's behind Alfie. He's got time to wave now. He almost looks tired, where Alfie looks so fit, doesn't even raise a sweat in an event like this. And when the motorcycle starts to pull you along, oh, you can see he's just sitting in that saddle. He's had a great ride in that 250, that Connex Internet Honda. But when the motorcycle pulls you along that way, you are tired. Bardenhoff. This is going to be his first big win. All that motor sounds as crisp as ever. And one of the regional competitors comes in the start-finish line. They just have to complete one lap. And the winner has come through, and it's the Chippiks. Franz Chippik Sr. and Franz Chippik Jr. have come through to win this event.
Jr. coming in and taking the check.
And leading the production vehicle class, here's the Mitsubishi Pajero, Neil Woolridge and Paul Vermaak. These machines and their drivers make it all look so easy. And in the Pennzoil car, Manfred Schroeder gets a very good second place overall, 10 minutes behind the Chippiks. And Van Jaarsveld, here they're coming, that's the car they've built themselves, third in the special vehicle class. They're going to be thrilled with that one. And going for a well-earned drink. Who's the next one coming in behind them? They're tired there, that's Frieda and Johan. And it's RP Reinecker, basically a trouble-free run there, and they've won the special truck section. Robin Houghton and RP Reinecker, the driver, one of the most successful teams ever in off-road racing. Motor sounds as crisp and as powerful as ever. And winners of the standard production vehicle, the Bucky class, in yet another Castrol Toyota, having a good day, here's Castrol Toyota, Heinz Robler and Charles Volmans. Champagne for the winners. It's been thirsty work.
But on the second loop, when my son was driving, thank God he picked up, we had a slipping clutch. And we got out and fixed that, otherwise we wouldn't be here now. And so we're really, very happy winners, which puts us quite a way ahead in the championship, which is fantastic.
That it certainly does. The Chippiks lead in Class A. Smith stays well in front in Class B, and Peter Fumfa in a car of his own making wins Class C. Varian Khan looking very good this year in 5th position.
We had a bit of an off this morning in the trees. We overshot the corner, lost a bit of time, and the Sandmaster got past us. So we had to eat dust for a while, but fortunately we caught him and got past him and managed to pull a bit of a lead. And we just had a clear run all day. The marking was excellent. I mean, the effort these guys have put into this event is really, really fantastic.
And these production vehicles put on a very impressive performance. Interesting there that the Birkin brothers are in a brand new 2.7 litre standard Castrol Toyota Hilux and coming home there in 4th position. Here's the winner of the motorcycles, the legend himself, Alfie Cox, on home ground, winning once again, just to add to the many races and championships that he's won, and looking forward to the Toyota 1000 Desert Race.
The desert race has been my big bugbear the last 2 years. I've had mechanical problems, and Graham's won it twice, and I'm going to go and try and take it away from him.
Second overall, just 59 seconds behind Alfie's Natro Freight KTM, is Jade Goodsight on the Connex Internet Honda, and the winner of the 200cc class, Barry Creel, on that AGA Panasonic Castrol KTM. Very good performance there by Alfie Cox. Good sight on the 250. Then came Darryl Curtis, the second, the 250. Rob Campbell and Lance Lafou on the 4-stroke Yamaha. Wonderful ride there, and a win for Brendan Bardenhoff. A bit of a surprise here on that Johannesburg Yamaha, 17 minutes ahead of John Craig Costello. The Polaris machines in third and fourth are starting to come on strong. And if you don't see Vickers van Deerven to the list, he stripped down his engine alongside the road, put it back together and still finished sixth. The next race, the Toyota 1000Z race, is on the 25th of June. The Sugarbelt 400 Off-Road Championship race was proudly brought to you by Pajero.